Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here with kind of an update on the admissions of the Track, Trace, and Database Society, because I got to tell you, this article is almost a whitewash. It's only telling you a very limited part of the story. I'm happy it's out there. I'm happy through a Freedom of Information Act request, we now have these documents based on Defense Forensics and Biometric Agency, the DFBA, and the revelation to the commoners about this Track Trace Database Society that has been already built. We're already there. That 7.4 million identities, I guarantee the number is much higher, and we're going to get to the actual article that this is talking about, including American and allied troops as well as terrorists, are in this database. And let me let you know, I believe it was 10.medium.com that got these things through a FOIA, but some documents were not given to them. And these are the names that are going to pop up. Are you ready? Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, NIST. And what is this? This is the Total Global Control Society that has been built since the beginning of the war on terror. Really predates that, but they even talk about Afghanistan and Iraq and the fact that they've been using that biometric database to build numbers and get things better. In the last couple of years, by the way, guys, it's gotten so much better, exponentially better at getting positive reads on individuals. And guess what? We're talking about using this technology to capture and kill thousands of human beings at this point. Thousands of human beings. And if you think that this is just going to be reserved for Muslims or people in the Middle East or terrorists or the social credit score in China is just for China, I got news for you. No, 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 no. This is what the technopoly looks like. So, first of all, I encourage people to go check this article out and share it with others, the source material. And if you'd like, they provide a scribd download link where you can actually go through these documents. You can check them out for yourself. You can see the presentations that they're giving at these conferences. And remember, this is kind of the limited hangout stuff that, they're saying it's positive. Oh, it's so great. The only problem with facial recognition is that it's kind of racist, and that I think a African-American woman is 10 times more likely to be misidentified. But let's go over this article because it has so many important nuggets in it. Over the last 15 years, the United States military has developed a new addition to its arsenal. The weapon is deployed around the world, largely invisible, and grows more powerful by the day. Damn straight. Because it's integrated, as you're going to find out later, with the FBI and local law enforcement. These things are all over the place. They talk about 7.4 million. Think about how many of you guys are using this device to unlock your phone. Think about how many of you aren't covering up your fingerprint scanner and giving up that biometric data. The weapon is a vast database packed with millions of faces, irises, fingerprints, and DNA data. And if you don't think they're taking your DNA data from places like 23andMe, you are being extremely naive. A biometric dragnet of anyone who has come in contact with the U.S. military abroad. The 7.4 million identities in the database range from suspected terrorists in active military zones to allied soldiers training with U.S. forces. And it goes well beyond that. Well beyond just troops, well beyond just terrorists, well beyond just enemy combatants, I promise you. Denying our adversaries anonymity allows us to focus our lethality. And oh, it's lethal. It's like ripping the camouflage netting off the enemy's ammunition dump, wrote Glenn Kreise, director of the Defense Forensics and Biometrics Agency. See how all these agencies are popping up? In notes obtained by 10, the Defense Forensics and Biometric Agency, DFBA, is tasked with overseeing the database known officially as the Automated Biometric Information system, ABIS. And there's a bunch of other acronyms in here. I think BEWL is yet another one. DFBA and its ABIS database have received little scrutiny or press given the central role they play in the U.S. military's intelligence operations. Damn right it hasn't been talked in the press much. But a newly obtained presentation and notes written by the DFBA's director, Kreze, reveals how the organization functions and how biometric identification has been used to identify non-U.S. citizens on the battlefield thousands of times in the first half of 2019 alone. Think about that. In the first 6 months of 2019, we have thousands of identities being used through biometrics. Putting them on the so-called, this is it, the BOOL, the biometrically enabled watch list. Gotta wonder if I'm on that list. Okay? I know that I'm not an enemy combatant. I know that I'm not overseas. I know that I'm not a terrorist. But you gotta wonder, I mean, I would say the majority of us are on that list, whether we like it or not. Biometrically enabled watch list. Give me a break. Once flagged, these individuals can be identified through surveillance systems on battlefields, near borders around the world, and on military bases. Goes far beyond that. The presentation also sheds light on how military, state, and local law enforcement, see, there's the local law enforcement I was talking about, biometric systems are linked. According to Kreze presentations, ABIS is connected to the FBI's biometric database. Oh, which in turn is connected to databases used by state and local law enforcement. That's why on the West Coast, guys, San Francisco and other cities are banning facial recognition on the streets because they know what it's being used for. And that's just part of it. Again, the facial recognition on your little spy device with 24-hour GPS is extremely real. It is extremely real. The network will ultimately amount to a global surveillance system. Okay, you see that? A global surveillance system. In his notes, Kreze outlines a potential scenario in which data from a suspect in Detroit would be run against data collected from some mountaintop in Asia. The documents, which are embedded in full below, you can get them, were obtained through FOIA. These documents were presented earlier this year at a closed-door defense biometrics conference known as the Identity Management Symposium. ABIS is the result of a massive investment into biometrics by the United States military, according to federal procurement records. Now, they talk about this $345 million. The black budget on this thing is over the top. And they also talk about managing activity in Afghanistan. It's beyond Afghanistan. It's Iraq. That's just outwardly what we're doing. That's outwardly, okay? These contracts, combined with revelations surrounding the military's massive biometric database initiative, paint an alarming picture. No shit. A large and quickly growing network of surveillance systems operated by the U.S. military and present anywhere the U.S. has deployed troops, vacuuming up biometric data on millions of unsuspecting individuals. And this program launched in 2004 in a war without borders, uniforms, or defined lines of battle. Knowing who the enemy is essential. Oh yeah, who's the enemy? It's you. It's people who think for themselves. It's those that challenge the establishment and the predator class. Okay? And there you have Lockheed Martin getting in the mix, Northrop Grumman getting in the mix. And remember, they only had 5 positive matches from 150 searches. Now, that was back in 2009, and that's public. Believe me, the technology has grown and gotten much scarier and much better. In fact, you can see it right here, okay? Military leaders began to speak of biometric technology as a game changer, and directives from the DoD not only encouraged the use of technology by analysts, but also by soldiers on the ground. Troops were instructed to collect the biometric data whenever possible. That's any time, okay? That's any time. And notice subdivision of Lockheed IT business got a $150 million contract. They're dumping money into this. And here's where I was talking about thousands of people. The Department of Defense arrested or killed more than 1,700 people around the world, that's between 2008 and 2017, based on biometric and forensic matches. They've been using this. All right? And these numbers are even more alarming. Criset's presentation indicates the United States used biometric matches to identify 4,467 people on that list. Okay? The biometric-enabled watch list in the first 2 quarters of 2019. That's, in 6 months, almost 5,000 people being identified. The presentation slide breaks down the numbers. 2,728 of those matches were opposing forces carried out in the theater or area where U.S. troops are commanded. So where are the other 1,800 plus coming from if they're not in military zones? It's really weird. They mentioned WikiLeaks in this, by the way. And they want you to let this, read this. Almost every operation provides the opportunity to collect biometrics, a 2014 document on military biometrics says. While quality is desired over quantity, maximizing enrollment in the database will likely identify more persons of interest. What does that say? That says, yeah, we might get it wrong, but let's take all the info anyway. This is it. This is the Track Trace Database Society, okay? And these databases can be plugged into custom-built military mobile devices used to scan fingerprints, irises, and match faces against databases, according to a 2014 document outlining biometric procedures across the branches of the armed forces. All public knowledge. A lot of this I've talked about before. We're just getting confirmation and some more numbers. Now, it's NIST, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, working with Homeland Security, by the way, to get the standards up, because black females are 10 times more likely to be misidentified than white males. Oh, they're so worried that biometrics are going to be racist. And they're also so worried that, bad actors, China or Russia, are going to get these documents because WikiLeaks obtained over 500,000 of their reports. Look, this is a global system. This is the real deal. Our military is just but one entity that is doing this. The 7+ million we're talking about, the 7.4 million, is nothing compared to what they really have. I can promise you that. Folks, if you like my work, thumbs this video up, share it with others. Subscribe if you're new, join the Burmis Brigade. Share my documentary films, which are on a playlist on this channel: Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order to Find, and Shade the Motion Picture. All free here. Share them. Please do so. We're doing it 3 to 7 times a day on many a subject, from Nexium to Biden to Epstein to the Bilderberg Group to Spacey and Sandusky and Penn State and even a little mixed martial arts. Trump, Tulsi, the election 2020. If you want news with a view that's not left or right, conservative or liberal, but it's about right and wrong, I hope I'm your guy. And with that being said, I give away all my stuff for free. There is no secret tiers. There is no Patreon. There is no Subscribe Star. There's no secret Skype sessions where I'm oiling my body up and talking to you privately. It doesn't happen. I'm just a regular guy doing regular things and trying to bring evil out of the darkness and into the light. And I hope you will join me on this journey by thumbing this up, sharing it with others, and if you can financially support me, great. I love you guys. And with that being said, I will see you all on the flip side.